Hey, and we're live. Hey guys, how's it going? Um, just want to do a quick live stream to welcome everybody to my new technology channel. I'm going to be slowly bringing content to this channel. I'm gonna take it a little bit more seriously than I did my martial arts channel, in the sense that basically I'm going to show you guys some of the technology problems I've solved. I'm going to do some hardware stuff, which is going to be with switches and servers and desktops, laptops, tablets, and all those things. I'm going to share with you something. It's not really new, but it's one of those validation of skills deals. And that would be, ta-da! I am Security Plus certified. I'm going to, every time I pass a test and get the certifications, I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory of how I did it. I'm going to tell you how my journey went, everything from if I took the test at home or did I go to a testing center. I'm going to share some tips to help you succeed with this different tests and certifications the first time, because like I say, a lot of times it's better to be prepared and not make a $400, $600, or $1,500 mistake. One thing I wanted to say is that for me, a lot of these new certifications that I'm going to be doing are just going to be validating my skills. As I've said more than a few times, I've been in technology almost 30 full years between civilian and military life. I have done a lot of various jobs, but security, information security, and hardware has always been my specialty. I started out, programming in the beginning, and I did scripted language, compiled languages, all of that, but I always leaned more to the server and information security side. One thing that I want to mention while I'm live these few minutes is that when you go for these different certifications, remember something. If you work for a private company and they have standards for certifications, or you're working for the federal government and you fall up under some reg, whether you be active duty, military, or you're in fact uh, civilian personnel. One thing I want you to understand is that get the certifications that help you in your job. Don't just blindly run out there. I'm gonna get this certification, this certification. If you fall under, say, the new DoD standard 8140, if there's a certification on that list that helps you, take your time, find out what that certification is, study for it appropriately, and don't buy into the I crammed or I did it, and no. When you go to take that certification exam, and that's what it is, you're going to be taking an exam that you've paid your $400 and it's not guaranteed you're going to pass. And if you fail, you have to pay to retake it. And that can be kind of costly. Also, with your training, be careful of under training or over training for certain things. Example, like with Security Plus is not something you just memorize. The Security Plus training is a situation where you're going to use what you pick up, the new tool set, the new skill set you pick up, you're going to use on your job in some form or fashion, whether you take the route of a pen tester, whether you take the route of a policy maker, writer, whether you take the position of, say, you're a manager, the skill sets and the techniques and the different areas of security that you're going to pick up that you don't already have, you're going to use. Information security is one of those rare situations where when you learn something, eventually you're going to use it, and it's something that it's going to stick with you, and you're going to have to refresh those skills as operating systems change, as technologies change, as needs change, as threats change. You're going to be able to grow, and you're going to grow your skill set. Whether your skill set is you're a policy person, let's say you're a compliancy person, you're big on Sarbanes-Oxley, you're big on HIPAA, you're big on, say, COPA or SIPA or something like that. It's something that's going to help you long term, and it's a great field to be in, but understand it's not easy, and they're not giving away Security Plus certifications. So what I would hope that you would do, and hope that I can inspire you to do, is take time to learn what you're going to do, find out the cost. A lot of people take for granted the fact that, let's say if you go to a 3-day boot camp, that 3-day boot camp could be, between $6,000 and $1,000 for those 3 days, however long. It could be 3 days, it can be 2 weeks, it can be however many days, 14 days, but it's not free and it's not cheap. So take that into consideration. Also, when you're training, the good news about CompTIA and the certifications they do is that they give you an objective sheet. Here's a pro tip. Make sure the objectives you're studying is matching the test you're taking. Like say if you're taking the we're in 2021, they're going to retire the 501 test and they're moving on to the 601 test. Download the objectives for the 501 test if you're going to take the 501 test, and study for the 501 test. If you have a 401 book, 301 book, it's not going to help you all that much. Matter of fact, it's not going to help you hardly at all, because 301, 401 are older technologies. 501 and 601 are newer technologies. What you find with 601 and 501, they move more towards the wireless aspect of it. They're doing more of the cloud stuff, especially 601. So study the objectives for the test you're taking. Don't try to do 501, take the 601. I can tell you right now, I know people who have been doing things like that, and they're in their second and third time trying to take this test. And if your job depends on it, like say for instance, you're some of those guys that moved from wherever to Huntsville under the guise of you're going to get a Security Plus when you get down there, some of those guys have already had to, pack their stuff and go home. So what I'd ask you to do is, follow me on this journey as as more of my certificates come in, because my Security Plus congratulations packet has already come in. Ta-da! See? So I'm going to go through this, the congratulations package, show you my certificate, and I'm going to, for everyone I get, my other certificates that come in, my Pen Test Plus, my CISA, my CompTIA, my CISSP, any of my Cisco stuff, I'm going to try to bring you on the journey as much as I can. I'm going to be a lot more consistent with this channel, and I'm going to hope that, as everyone watches my videos and, enjoy the content and learn from the content. That's the biggest thing. Learn from the content I'm picking up, that you understand I make some things look easy, but there are some things that are a lot straightforward and look easy, but to know how to perform those tasks, how to do those tasks, is where the payoff comes in. And I'm hoping that through some of my instruction, through some of my teaching, I can show you guys how to do that and hopefully help you better prepare for your exams, because there are exams. Whether you do your 2-part CISSP or whatever, or whichever one you go, your OSSC or whatever that guy is over there, or you do any different CompTIA or any Microsoft stuff. Remember, those are exams, and it's not like a SAT or ACT. And if you're in a situation where your livelihood, your paycheck depends on it, take it serious. Slow down. Try not to get too much of a panic or a rush. And less is more. When you're studying for these tests, don't try to say, well, I'm going to try to cram in everything I need. It doesn't work like that. Retention of the skills you pick up, the techniques you pick up, those are going to stay with you and those are going to follow you a while. So one pro tip I can give you is when it comes to CompTIA exams or any serious exam that's for the certification, especially when you're paying for it, don't depend on being able to cram. Don't do that. It's not going to work. The best thing for you to do is to simply take your time, get your objectives, and be honest with yourself. If there's something on those objectives you hadn't seen in a long time, we hadn't seen it at all, believe me when I tell you this. Take a deep breath, get your ego out of it, and study. If it's something you thought you knew and you take some of those practice tests that are out there and you don't get it right, look at that section, look at that objective, and go back and say, okay, I'm going to learn what this is. I'm going to study and familiarize myself with what that is. Because when you get to that exam, I'll give you an example of what I went through. I took the Security Plus this past January, January 2021. I'm not kidding, about 40 to 45 what they call performance questions. Had another 10 plus command line. And my quote multiple choice questions, just about all of them had more than one answer to them. So what I would leave to you, parting words again, don't make a $400 or $1,500 mistake. $1,400 is when you're getting into your SSPs, your CNAs, some of your Microsoft stuff. Your $400 mistakes is getting into some of the CompTIA stuff. Your job, your livelihood depends on it. Make that investment in yourself to get it right the first time. And remember something now. Those exams you take have what's called transcripts that go along with those certificates. Which means if you're trying to convince your company or your employer or some third party to invest in you to help you pay for those exams, you want to have a good track record of being able to study and get it right the first time. Because if I've had to be a hiring manager, I've had to, take that role from time to time. The bottom line is, if I look on that transcript and you've taken it 3, 4, 5 times, at best I might suggest, compensating you maybe say half or put $100 towards it. Or say, no, the risk is too high. Let them go pay for themselves. If they get it, come back to us. Keep those things in mind as you're an adult growing in any profession, not just technology, any profession. You want to make that investment in yourself. Because when you make that investment in yourself, you're going to reap the benefits of it. And getting whatever CompTIA certification you're striving for, any Microsoft certification, any Cisco certification, any, job related, Sigma 6, anything like that, it's an investment in yourself. And you always want to make good investments in yourself. So make the good investment in yourself. And remember something, I'm going to say this again, when you're taking these exams, just because you paid that $400, $1,500, whatever, it doesn't mean you're going to pass. It's not always a one-to-one definition. With security, another pro tip I want to throw to you is that these skill sets follow you. And it's a skill set. It's not you just jumped into it and you passed it for the sake of passing. That's not how it works. These exams are, especially CompTIA in this modern age. When I say modern age, I mean, 2020 is moving forward from what I'm observing and what I went through this past January. You absolutely are going to be testing in, can you apply what you know? Do you actually know what you're talking about? So I'm going to do some more videos on Security Plus. I'm going to get as much as I can into some examples of performance tests, some examples of multiple choice, some examples of command line things that you're going to do, examples of some log files you're going to have to decipher, and some other, security based techniques. And not just security, like I said, I'm hardware. I might, throw some Python tutorials on here, maybe some Ruby tutorials on here. It's going to really depend on time, preparation, and I have to double check and make sure with some of these things, can I actually, live stream them and do them? Because I know Microsoft, they're kind of finicky about you, presenting their development studio and doing tutorials, because they tend to want you to pay them directly for that. They don't necessarily want anyone doing tutorials. Some of the Linux stuff I might do a little better with. Some of the Mac stuff, once again, they're kind of finicky. They want you to pay them. But as much as I can get on here, I'm going to get on here. As much as I can do, I'm going to do. And I want to welcome you to the channel. It's those of you, some of you know I've had this channel for a while. I really hadn't done a whole lot with it because I got busy, and I planned on doing a lot more, with my martial arts channel, but COVID kind of, shot that in the foot. I mean, we've had to reschedule the Olympics. So stick with me. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for standing by me. Thanks for pushing me to get back to this channel. I was on a podcast just the other day, yesterday actually, and we were talking about security and the different roles, whether you be red team, blue team, purple team, white team, response, incident response, things of that nature. So I'm gonna bring some of those stories here, and I thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys hanging with me. And, I hope you guys enjoy the content. And, I really hope that everyone who's out there going for their CompTIA, certifications, whatever they are, I wish you the best of luck. I hope you get it. I hope that, it helps you, validate your skills. Hope that you are able to feel good about, getting your certification. I hope that you can benefit from some of my teachings. And thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for supporting me. Thank you guys for viewing this. And this went a little over. I only planned on doing maybe about 5 minutes, something like that. But this is live stream, live, uncut, in its purest form. So thank you guys, and talk to you later. See you soon.